To God be the glory and praise. Good morning, and I would like to share to you the dream that I had August the 12th, 2015, and it is with Jesus. And I know this is very important. In my dream, I saw myself seated on the floor with a friend of mine on my right, and there's another friend of mine standing in front of us. On our left side is actually a huge wall, but at the middle of that is a French, no, yeah, it's a sliding door. It's a sliding door, sliding wide door. So my friend is seated here. My other friend is seated in front of us, like leaning on the door, on the wall there, and close to the door, to the sliding door. So we were talking, and then suddenly, as I look at my friend on my right side, I saw a bright light on her forehead. And then when I saw the bright light in her forehead, I turned my head on my left side to the door, wherein the door was slightly open. There's like a little bit, it's slightly open. And I saw a very bright light behind the door. Immediately I know it was Jesus. And I told my friends, I said, "You are so lucky." I said, I saw Jesus in my dreams several times. And I saw him while I was praying, but my eyes were closed. But I said, "You were so lucky because you saw him once, but with your bare eyes." That's what I told them. So I slide the door open so I can bring Jesus in. So I opened the door and I let Jesus come in his brilliance, very, very bright. My goodness, his light just shone all over the place. He's wearing a white robe, but glowing in light. Oh my, glowing in light. So my friend, who is standing at the front, she was just looking, and I was just so amazed, with too much joy seeing him walking just in front of you. And as he walked, I was expecting that he's going to touch my friend who is on my right, but instead he actually just walked in front of us, slow at first, and then suddenly I noticed he was looking, at the very far right side of that house. So anyway, he looked at that other side, and I just saw him run. Jesus just ran so fast. It's like there's an urgency. He needs to be there fast. And so what I did is I followed him. On this side, we're inside the house, but on this right side where we were seated, there's an opening that he just went through there, and then I followed. I actually chased him and ran to make sure, to find out what he was up to, or what he's going to do. So I saw a huge group of people standing there, and they're like all going to ride a horse. They're all going to ride a horse. So Jesus rode on a horse, and then he actually just left. He rode on a horse, and then he left. And then the other people followed on a horse also. So they were riding on a horse, and they all left. So all you can hear was just, the tip-tap of the horseshoes. And then I heard a voice telling me, because I was standing on the dirt road, I heard a voice telling me, "Get out there because they're going to pass by on that road." So I moved together with the other people, and we moved on the porch of the house, and we sat there. So anyway, all you can hear was the horse running, and then suddenly I saw Jesus just stop in front of me, in front of us, on that dirt. He got out of the horse, and then I noticed that I know it was him. He was on a warrior suit. So he was on his warrior suit, and then he got out of the horse. Then suddenly, it just changed. You know, from Jesus on that warrior suit, suddenly it changed and it's no longer Jesus. It's an ordinary guy now on that warrior suit. So Jesus was gone. And this warrior guy was there in front of me. And then followed by several guys in their warrior suit. They were on their horse also. They got down and then they stood in front of us. And these warriors, they got down on their horse. They come close to us. And remember, I was seated on the porch with the other girls, with the other ladies. The moment these warriors got down, they got one or two of the girls who were sitting beside me. They took them and they bring them inside the house. And then another guys in warrior suit, they come in. They got the girls who are seated beside me, and they go in until I was the last one. And after that, all I know, I was transported inside the room. And I saw myself in front of Pontius Pilate. I was standing in front of him. And I noticed that it's like I was in the spirit inside the wife of Pontius Pilate. And I noticed he was like, Pontius Pilate was like mad at me, telling me to do something, but I don't want to listen. And I noticed, I have a feeling in that dream that I was like the wife of Pontius Pilate. So I was like probably in the spirit of the body of, his wife. So he was like telling me to do something and I don't want to follow it. So I walked out of that room. He was yelling. I walked out of that room. And as I walked, I stepped out of our room. There's like several cubicles, like a cubicles but open here, like a room, but there's no door at the front. So you can see what's going on inside that room. So I can see several, one after the other. And inside were soldiers of Pontius Pilate, those warriors that came in. They were inside with at least two ladies inside of them, inside that room. So, they were sleeping with two girls at the same time. So I was walking and looking at each cubicle with the soldiers and with the ladies. And then I walked out of that door of that house, and I end up standing in a bridge. So on a bridge, I was on a bridge, and then where the rail area, I went there and I stood on that rail side, and I saw myself with my family standing on the bridge. So a lot of us, and we were looking down the bridge, and it's like it's a river or a river, but we were looking down the bridge, but there's no water. Okay, you can see just like the soil. It's like an empty river or lake. I don't know what kind of body of water is it, but there's like trees, both trees on the side, and it's an empty body of water there, lake or river. But there's a tiny bitty round area like a lake at the middle. Okay, so there's like a lake at fish pond. There's like a fish pond at the middle, and it's round, and there's like a few water, and around this tiny bitty fish pond or body of water, the round, there's a lot of people. It's surrounded by the people. So while we're looking down, all you can see was just an empty body of water, a lake or empty lake with filled with people. They're surrounding this circle area, but there's like, I've seen like a little water there with little fish inside. So they're surrounding them, and they're all wearing black. And that time it was like dark, so it was like night. They're all wearing black, and they're all there. They're like chanting, they're like screaming, they're like doing something. I don't know what they're doing. They're like having fun, screaming. They're really having a good time. But it was dark. They're doing this at night. They're doing this at night. They're all wearing black, and they're surrounding this round thing, and they're like screaming, yelling, like having fun. I don't know what they're doing. So me and my family were actually taking pictures. We're taking pictures to make sure that we have an evidence of what they're doing. And my daughter was also taking pictures, so I was telling her, would you change my setting into video so I can video them aside from taking pictures. And at first she don't want it, but anyway, she turned it on. So I was taking the video. And after that, I left out of that place. I went in the house, and as I opened the front door of my house, I saw myself at the second story of our house. So it's a first and second story. I opened the door at the top, and I was looking down. There's another door downstairs, just adjacent to the door where I opened. I saw a young lady coming in. It was like early morning. And I knew she was part of those people who were having fun at night. Those who were under the bridge, doing their thing at night, having fun. And she just got home early morning. So when I opened the door, I saw her. She was holding a leash connected to a goat. She was holding a leash. So the goat was on a leash, and she's holding it. And the goat was white. I don't know why. So anyway, she looked at me because she saw me looking at her. I noticed that her eyes are like all white. And there's only like a tiny dot of black on both sides, on both eyes. It's creepy. It's really scary. It's all white, but a tiny bitty dot of black. So it's like creepy. And I know immediately that the spirit of the devil was in her. I really knew, and I know that she saw me looking at her because she was staring at me before she goes in. She was actually looking at me like that. Strange, It's like I know, the way she looked at me. It's like saying, "I know you saw me," You saw me. So anyway, things just suddenly changed. I just saw my husband holding the goat on a leash. My husband's holding the leash of that goat. And then suddenly the goat just ran so fast. And he was so strong. The goat was so strong that he actually, that the goat actually pulled my husband. And my husband stumbled down and even cut and made a lot of bruises in his feet. So my husband fell down on the ground. I was looking at him. He got a lot of bruises on his feet. So suddenly what I did was I chased the goat. And as I chased the goat, the goat ended up on top of a bridge. And it was like I felt like he's going to jump on the water. A huge body of water. And I said, when I saw the water, I said, no, I'm not going to jump there. So I said, I'm not going to jump out of that water. So when the goat was there at the edge